Hello YouTube, my name's Daniel Lemaitre and welcome to another review on a Bachmann Underground Ernie engine. And today we have Brooklyn. I got Brooklyn quite recently, just before Christmas. He was $24.99, which is the same price as Bakerloo. You may remember I got the other four characters for £13 each off of eBay, and they were a Christmas present, which I'll talk about later. Obviously, $24.99 is not as good as £13, but obviously the fact that this model is now discontinued, I'd rather pay a bit more and have it rather than pay it, obviously not be able to get it at all. It was a buy it now price, and I think $24.99 is still a very good price, and I think it's good as well considering both you get the engine and the coach. I think Brooklyn's a really good model. I'll be completely honest, compared to the other Underground Ernie characters, I don't know as much about Brooklyn as I do the other engines. I mean, it was quite a while ago since I watched the show, and Brooklyn was one of the international engines, and to my knowledge he didn't appear in as many episodes as the main characters like Bakerloo, Hammersmith and City, etc. So looking at the model first of all, I think it's fair to say that he's very well detailed. When I bought him, I was a bit worried that the paint job wouldn't look as good, and it was a bit. And I mean, from the pictures, it looked a bit transparent and sort of cheap. But I think the paint job's actually really good. And as well, he's got the hats and the glasses, which are good. And the coach as well. It's quite good. You may remember on the review about Jubilee, I mentioned that obviously Jubilee was quite a shiny sort of engine, and the sort of colour they used was a bit sort of dull grey. I think it's the same on Brooklyn, but as I say, I think it's still very good. Also, you may remember me saying on other reviews, such as on Bakerloo's and Jubilees, that as their eyes move, obviously because it comes with moving eyes, that you get little black gaps, and then when you depends on where you turn it, you can't see the eyes at all. When he's going around, he runs very well, and you don't really notice any gaps between his eyes. And I mean, sometimes depends on what angle you look from, because of his cap, his eyes are a bit obscured, but still very good. Also, another point, again, you get these buffers, which I don't think are necessary. And then obviously you get the buffers on the back as well. And like, as I've said on all the reviews really, the buffers don't really impress me too much. I think if they were going to put buffers on them, they could have done a bit better job, because it looks like they've just basically got a plastic block and just stuck it on. So it doesn't look quite so good. But I'll say all the models are exactly the same really, so I suppose at least, we can't just say, they've done really well on one, not done well on another sort of thing. Again, he's got, if you look underneath, he's got traction tyres on the powered wheels at the back there. He hasn't got traction tyres on them ones. These ones don't have any power. And then just there, you might not be able to see it as well as I can. It tells you that it was made in China. It doesn't tell you what year it was built, but it says 2002 to 2007, and that's the company Joella, which helped make the TV show. And it's also the same there as well as writing. Again, you might not be able to see it as well as I can. So we can only really assume that this model was made between around 2006 to 2009. Obviously, they were discontinued in 2009, so about 5 years ago now. So we're still in 2014. Moving on to the packaging now. Once again, the packaging is really good. It's pretty much the same as all the other Underground Ernie engines. However, it's slightly different because it shows on the front of the box 5 of the international engines instead of Circle and Victoria and the main cast. To my knowledge, Brooklyn is the only one that's been made out of all the international engines in the Bachmann range. Moving on to the back of the box, it tells you a bit about Brooklyn. It tells you he's a cool dude from New York, in the USA. and he likes hot dogs, which is a bit odd because to my knowledge engines don't even eat, and I mean we all know what happened when Thomas had fish in his boiler. Again, it shows you all the different characters on the back, and it shows you Ernie won the inspection car, which I don't have, and it shows you all the different buildings you can get. Like I said, all these are now discontinued, but you can still get them, though I'm still on the look for Ernie 1 and hope to get it in the future. It has a figure of Ernie in it as well. And if you look carefully as well, on the back it shows you a picture of Brooklyn. You can see what I mean by the paintwork not looking quite right. And obviously he was a bit more shinier, but nevertheless I think he's still a very good model. And then here, as you can see, like all the other ones, you've got two separate bits of plastic. You have to cut, they're normally sellotaped, and you cut them off and then take it on and off. Another thing I forgot to add in all my other reviews is the Underground Ernie engines that I do have. That I bought them all brand new, even though they're discontinued. I managed to buy them all brand new, boxed. And with Brooklyn, so he does run very well. I did have to give him a bit of an oiling though, because he did make a bit of a noise, but you get that with a lot of models, and as you know, all 00HO Hornby N-gauge trains, they all need oiling from time to time, so I can't really complain too much. Another thing I've noticed about Brooklyn is, or to me looks a bit odd, is that he's longer than his coach, and you may remember in the Victoria review that she was the same. So they're not quite the same length, and I think it does look a bit sort of odd. But as I say, I think he's still a very good model. When it came to giving him an overall score, it was really hard actually. But from what overall looks and obviously the way that he runs and that was really good, and it really impressed me. So I felt like giving him a 10 out of 10, and I certainly recommend that if you haven't got Brooklyn that you get him, along with all the other Underground Ernie engines. Thank you very much for watching, and here's something else for you. As of course it's just been Christmas time, I just wanted to share a few other things that I got for Christmas that were train related. The Underground Ernie engines, as you can see, all the Bachmann ones that I'd reviewed on before, they were all a Christmas present from my parents. And I got a few other Thomas train related items. I got the breakdown crane in Hornby, and I've actually been waiting for that for about 2 years because we bought it in. My parents bought it in Model Zone and were supposed to give it to me as a present that year, but they never did. So they finally got around to giving me that. And then I got Millie, the little narrow gauge engine, one of my favourites from King of the Railway. I got Marion, obviously from Tale of the Brave this year. She's quite a nice model. And I also got Emily's coach in Bachmann. I don't have Bachmann Emily, I have a Hornby Emily. But in the future, hopefully, I might get a Bachmann Emily. And so, they were what train-related items that I got for Christmas. Hope you got everything that you wanted for Christmas, and obviously had a very good Christmas. And I wish you all a Happy New Year as well.